Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Sikh Empire, which was also known as Sarkar-e Khalsa. So in this video we will know about the rise of Sikh Empire, its period of prominence, its different emperors, and what were the reasons for its decline. So in order to know about the details, watch this whole video. So the first official Sikh Empire was established by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. I am the using word official here because Sikh Empire was initially started by Nawab Kapoor Singh, who was made the Nawab of Sikhs in 1733. So he laid the roots of Sikh Empire, Nawab Kapoor Singh, and he was made the Nawab by the Mughals, because at that time Mughals were doing lot of atrocities on Sikhs, especially Zakaria Khan. He was killing people mercilessly in Punjab. He wanted to subdue them, but even then they were not successful in their attempts. So finally Mughals thought that they should have a patch up with the Sikhs, so they made Nawab Kapoor Singh as the new leader of Sikhs. He was the Nawab. Nawab means a king. So he was the first king who was announced by the Mughals. And Nawab Kapoor Singh started the missile system. Missile is an Arabic word which means equal or same. So in the starting he made two groups, Buddha Dal and Taruna Dal. So Buddha Dal, as its name shows, that all the older people were there in order to fight. And in Taruna Dal, all the younger people were taken. So that's why Taruna Dal was much more powerful at that time. And Taruna Dal was further divided into 5 parts. So this was the main cause of making the missiles. From these 5 parts, they increased them to 12. So these 12 were the 12 Sikh missiles, like Karod Singhia missile, Shukar Chakia missile, Pangi missile, Ramgarhia missile. So in this way, there were 12 missiles in Punjab. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh belonged to Shukar Chakia missile. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh assimilated all these missiles into a big Sikh empire. He conquered all over the Sikh missiles, and finally he established his empire in 1799. And the capital of Sikh empire was Lahore. So in this way we come to know that Maharaja Ranjit Singh had not made this empire in a single day. It took him a long time. There is a long history behind making Sikh empire. It started from the time of Nawab Kapoor Singh, and his dream of making a big Sikh empire was finally fulfilled by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Now we will discuss about the spread of Sikh empire. So in this map you can clearly see in yellow color that this is the exact map of Sikh empire. This was the extent of Sikh empire. So in the north it started from Kashmir and it ended in Mithankot, which is in Pakistan now. And if we talk about the western side, which is near Afghanistan, it started from the Khyber Pass and it ended in the eastern side in Tibet, which is now in China. So in this way it was a large extent of Sikh empire on all the 4 sides. And at that time Afghanistan and Afghan people were really very powerful. Even today they are quite powerful. All the bigger nations like Russia and America, even British, they were not able to make their control over the Afghans because they are very valiant people. So even America fought with them for 10 years. But finally they had to come out of their country. So they were never won over by any person. And the one person who subdued these Afghans, and this person was Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So he defeated the Pathans in many battles. So finally he was able to spread Sikh empire to such a large area. In the picture you can see the official flag of Sikh empire, which was used in the court of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So as we all know that at that time British was ruling over whole India except Punjab. And they also wanted to take control over this area, but they were not successful in their attempts because of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So finally they signed a treaty with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, which was famous as a Treaty of Amritsar, and it was signed in 1809. And according to this treaty, it was decided that the northern area of Satluj River, it belongs to Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and the area which lies on the southern side of Satluj River, it belongs to the British Empire. So all the districts like Patiala, Jeend, Nabha, Ludhiana, Kapurthala, Firozpur and Faridkot, these districts were never a part of Sikh Empire because they were under British Empire at that time according to the treaty. So Sikh Empire spread to such a vast area, and it was all due to the efforts of Hari Singh Nalwa. So he was a famous and able military commander of Sikh army, and everyone feared a lot from his personality. And even the Afghan people, who never fear from anyone, they feared a lot from Hari Singh Nalwa. That's why Hari Singh Nalwa was able to capture a lot of areas of Afghanistan also. And Hari Singh Nalwa was also chosen as the governor of Kashmir. So finally he died in the Battle of Jamrod in 1837. So his death was a big shock to Maharaja Ranjit Singh, as Hari Singh Nalwa was very close to Maharaja. So after Hari Singh Nalwa's death, Maharaja Ranjit Singh was not able to pass a long time. Just after 2 years of Hari Singh Nalwa's death, Maharaja Ranjit Singh also died in 1839. So many people say that it was because of the shocking death of Hari Singh Nalwa. Apart from Hari Singh Nalwa, Maharaja Ranjit Singh had many European officers in his army. Like Francois Allard, he was from France, and Jean-Baptiste Ventura, he was from Italy. And both these officers had also served in the army of Napoleon Bonaparte. And we know that Napoleon was a greatest warrior of history. He was a ruler of France from 1801 to 1815. So these two able rulers belonged to his army. Next we will talk about Kohinoor diamond, which is quite a famous diamond in the world. So it was taken from the Kalur mines in India, and its weight was 793 carats in the starting, but it was cut to 105 carat by the British Crown because it was taken away by the British in 1849. and then it was cut to 105. But even then, it is the most expensive diamond in the history. And this diamond was given by Shah Shuja to Maharaja Ranjit Singh because Shah Shuja was arrested by the Governor General of Kashmir. And Shah Shuja made a pact with Hari Singh Nalwa that if he will free him from his clutches, then he will give Kohinoor diamond to him. So Hari Singh Nalwa led a Sikh army and he freed Shah Shuja from Kashmir. So that's why in lieu of his freedom he gave Kohinoor diamond to Hari Singh Nalwa. And then Hari Singh Nalwa handed over this diamond to Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So if we talk about the religious demography, then you will be quite surprised to know that Sikhs were just 10% of the whole population. Although it was known as a Sikh empire, but Sikhs were just 10%. 10% were Hindus and mostly the population was of Muslims, which comprised of 80% population. So now you can know that only 10% population was able to rule over 90% of population. So this was the religious demography at that time. Now we will discuss about different rulers of Sikh Empire. So the first and the most prominent name among them is of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. He ruled from 1799 to 1839 and he ruled for almost 40 years. And this is known as the golden period of Sikh Empire because he brought revolutionary and sweeping changes in this area. He did lot of development and he was also known for his secularism. And he had great respect for all the religions. That's why he is remembered as Sher-e Punjab. And even today, all the politicians they assure to give the rule like Maharaja Ranjit Singh. But no one will be ever able to emulate his works and his personality. So after his death in 1839, the next ruler was Khadak Singh. He was the second ruler of Sikh Empire. He was son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh and Maharani Datar Kaur. So he ruled for just a few months. His rule started on 27 June 1839 and ended on 8th October 1839. And he died because of poisoning at the age of 39. And people say that he was poisoned by the Prime Minister of Sikh Empire at that time, and his name is Dhyan Singh. So Dhyan Singh was the main conspirator behind the death of Khadak Singh. He poisoned Khadak Singh to death. So after Khadak Singh's death, the next ruler was chosen and his name is Nau Nihal Singh or Kanwar Nau Nihal Singh. And he was son of Maharaja Khadak Singh and Maharani Chand Kaur. And Nau Nihal Singh was also able to rule for a few months only, from 8th October 1839 to 5 November 1840. And he died at the age of 19. He was also murdered. And he was murdered when he was coming back from the cremation of his father. Then a big boulder fell upon him. And people say that he was not seriously injured at that time. But the Prime Minister Dhyan Singh, he took him inside his room and he told other people that they are not allowed to meet Nau Nihal Singh. Even his family members were not allowed to meet Nau Nihal Singh because he pretended that he is seriously injured, so he needs to see a doctor. But people say that he was murdered by the Prime Minister Dhyan Singh. So, Dhyan Singh was the main conspirator behind the death of Khadak Singh as well as Kanwar Naunihal Singh. So, the next and fourth ruler is Maharani Chand Kaur, who was wife of Maharaja Khadak Singh and mother of Naunihal Singh, and she ruled from 5 November 1840 to 18 January 1841. So it also shows that she was able to rule for just a few months only. And finally, she was deposed as a queen by Sher Singh because Sher Singh had declared a coup against her, and Sher Singh was son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And Sher Singh wanted to become the next emperor. That's why he removed Chand Kaur as a queen. And after that, Chand Kaur was given 9 lakh rupees pension per year. And Sher Singh said that you have not to interfere in the matters, you just take this 9 lakh rupees and remain silent. And for all this, Sher Singh was working on the orders of Prime Minister Dhyan Singh. And this is the same person who had murdered Naunihal Singh and Khadak Singh. And now he was instigating Sher Singh also. So finally, Chand Kaur was murdered by her servants with wooden spikes on 11 June 1842. And it was all done on the orders of Sher Singh and his protege, the most famous Prime Minister Dhyan Singh at that time. So the next ruler after Chand Kaur's death, he was Sher Singh. So Sher Singh was son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and he became emperor on 18 January 1841 and remained till 15 September 1843. So Sher Singh was also finally murdered by Ajit Singh Sandhawalia, and his Prime Minister Dhyan Singh Dogra, who was a main conspirator behind the death of Chand Kaur, Naunihal Singh and Khadak Singh, and this Prime Minister was also murdered by Ajit Singh Sandhawalia because Ajit Singh Sandhawalia wanted to become the next emperor. So he made a conspiracy to kill both of them and to clear his way for becoming the next ruler. So the sixth and last ruler of Sikh Empire was Maharaja Dalip Singh. He was son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and he ruled from 15 September 1843 to 29 March 1849. And when he became emperor, he was just 5 years old. So he is the youngest emperor of Sikh Empire. And at that time, as he was quite small, so his mother Maharani Jind Kaur, she was made his regent. It means that all the important decisions were taken by his mother. So his mother was just representing her son. So in 1845, first Sikh Anglo war was fought, and again second Sikh Anglo war was fought in 1849. And these two wars, the British were able to make control over whole Punjab. So they won all the area which was under Maharaja Ranjit Singh at that time. So finally, Maharani Jind Kaur was sent to Nepal on exile, and Maharaja Dalip Singh, he was sent to England, and he was just 12 years old at that time when he went there. And then when he went to England, then he turned to Christianity because Queen Victoria thought that if he will remain Sikh, then he will demand to become an emperor and he will demand for his area. So that's why he was converted to Christianity so that he will not make any demand and he will just assimilate in their culture. So Maharaja Duleep Singh stayed there for his remaining life. And although he made many attempts to come back to India and to come back to Punjab, but he was never successful. Although he came to India in 1861 to meet his mother in Calcutta, but he was not allowed by the crown to go in Punjab because the British feared that if he will go to Punjab, then again he can become the emperor of that area. So he was not allowed to go there. So again he went back to England and he took his mother Rani Jind Kaur along with him. So Rani Jind Kaur stayed there for just a few years and then she finally died there. And before her death, she had told him about his history, about his roots, about the Sikh history. So Maharaja Duleep Singh came to know about his roots from his mother Maharani Jind Kaur. And he also decided to go back to his land. So he started on his voyage to go Punjab, but in the middle way, when he reached in Paris, and he died in Paris at that time. So it was really a tragic end for him. He died in 1893 at the age of 55. So with the death of Maharaja Duleep Singh, we lost our Sikh empire and we lost the dream of Sikh empire also. So it was such a vast empire, but it remained for just a few years only. It remained for just 50 years. And we know about many other empires like British Empire, Ottoman Empire, Roman Empire. These empires remained for a long time, for hundreds of years. But Sikh Empire was just for 50 years. And with the death of Duleep Singh, everything was finished. And it remained just a dream for us. So it was all about Sikh Empire. And if you like this video, please make your comments and subscribe my channel. Thank you.